Hey guys, and welcome to SkillLink. In one of our previous episodes, we took a look at soldering, which is an application of joule heating. And in today's episode, we are going to take a look at induction heating, which is also an application of joule heating. But whenever you say induction heating, the first thing that comes to my mind is an induction stove. And we are going to take a look at how an induction stove works as well. So today we have Bhavna here with us, who's going to teach us how induction heating works.
Yes.
So Bhavna, tell us, how does induction heating work?
So for us to understand that, we'll take a step back and first look into the basic principles that are involved in it. Firstly, we'll start with Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction.
Okay.
Now, what this law states that is that when in a conductor, we introduce a moving magnetic field, there will be current flowing through it. And how did he do this? How did he discover that? It was actually by an accident, secret. But then what happened was he's basically performing an experiment. I'll explain you what the experiment was. There was a coil, okay, and with the coil there was attached a galvanometer. He brought in a magnet. When he moved the magnet around the conductor, he saw that there was a deflection in the galvanometer. This made him conclude that a moving magnetic field will induce a current in a conductor.
So how exactly is that used in induction stoves?
Okay, so for us to understand that, we look at the second part of the picture. Now what I said right earlier was when current is passed through a metal, an electric field is generated around it. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll bring another metal around the first metal, which is having electric current. Now the new metal will be introduced with the magnetic field of the first metal, and this magnet will now develop an electric current of its own. This electric current is known as eddy currents. Okay, now how is this used in an induction stove? Now let's look at that. Let's bring all of this together. We've placed this vessel now on the stove. We have current flowing through it. The eddy currents is introduced into the metal.
Hold on. I have an induction stove over here. Why don't you explain it with this?
Okay, that will be interesting. So we have the copper coils here, which are wound very close together. When we give it current, it produces an electromagnetic field of its own, like we discussed earlier, right? Now when you have the glass base. Over that, when you put the utensil, this electromagnetic waves gets hit on that utensil, right? It absorbs it and then it produces current of its own, which is the eddy currents. Now, once it has the current, the electrons are excited and they'll try to move around. But then because the space is less, they cannot. Hence, what happens is that it releases that energy that it has gained in the form of heat. And that is how your utensil gets heated up.
So let's talk about the vessels that we use here. Is it okay to use any kind of metallic vessel on an induction stove, or does it have to be of a specific kind?
Any vessel which has a magnetic base will be best suited for induction stove.
Okay, so when you say it should have a magnetic base, do you explicitly mean it has to have a magnet below, or do you mean any metal which is ferromagnetic in nature?
Any metal which has got ferromagnetic properties.
Okay, and what are the advantages of using an induction stove over traditional stoves?
Pretty evident. It has no open flame, so you don't have the fear of fire, which is best. And then secondly, it's very compact. And third, and most importantly, why it's preferred is it has less cooking time when compared to the regular stoves.
Thank you so much for taking the time off to explain how induction heating and induction stoves work. I hope you guys also learned something new with this episode. And until then, stay tuned to SkillLink.